Hey,
how are you?
Welcome.
Welcome.
We are here live.
Friday.
Happy Friday.
Yeah.
SKEAM team in the building. Let's get our cheers in. Y'all know how we do.
Beautiful.
Cheers to another week.
Sing-a-ling.
New month, tourist season, May.
That's right.
They say Mayday. Mayday. We are here. It is the SKEAM team in the building. We are live on Facebook, live on YouTube, on the Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, iHeart, Pocket Casts, Deezer, Stitchers, everybody watching us listening to us in a podcast world, watching us on YouTube. We thank you for your support. Y'all see us in the bottom right, left corner, one of these corners. Watch us on YouTube, SKEAM.podcast. Follow us on IG. Y'all know how we normally do. I'm going to introduce myself. I go by the name Main Manifest. To my right, I have...
You have the euphoric endorphin releaser, Pookie Long Johns.
To my left, I have...
Hey, it's your girl, Rhea.
And to her left, we have...
What's up, Tiffany Monique.
And we are the SKEAM team, guys, and we are here with episode 4. Man, there's so much going on. Again, thank you for everybody who had feedback on
thank you so
all
much.
3 episodes that we've been doing. Thank you for everybody who's been rocking with us since season 1. Got a lot to go on, man, so we're not going to delay. We're going to get right into it. Y'all know how we do. We start with our sports. So much going on in the sports of the NBA and all that. Man, these playoffs. Kevin Durant closing people out. Lakers closing people out. Lakers finally might be closing on my coach. On our new coach, Ty Lue. They're saying they're going to bring Ty Lue. Well,
yeah, that's good. That's
Who else they going to get?
well, Monty turned him. I don't know if he turned him down. Monty is going to, we were looking at Monty and Ty Lue. Monty's going to Phoenix. So now it's like he got picked with the second girl for prom, his second choice. But
Who else out
runner
there?
up.
exactly. But here's
That's
the
not
thing.
always a bad thing, though. Sometimes it might not have been your first pick, but it was the best situation for...
Exactly.
You know.
It's really not because they got history, right? So they've had success before, and that's what everybody
He got a
thinking about.
championship, though. He
Right.
won one.
Ty Lue is an
Ty Lue-
ex-Laker, so shout
Ty
out to
Lue's
Ty
good.
Lue. Let's get this thing
They
going,
always
man.
keep it in a
Family.
Laker family.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's get it going. Let's get it right, and we gonna get it rocking. So it's interesting, man. But the other series is going on. You know, this Golden State Houston series is interesting. You know, they smacking James Harden all in the eye. He looked like he had pink eye.
Yeah.
And all that. So
Yeah.
we're gonna see, man. I
Poke
think
him in his eye.
Yeah. Are they playing tonight?
Yeah.
I think they are playing tonight.
Yeah, I believe
it's
so.
tomorrow.
Hold
Oh,
on.
it's tomorrow?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
don't-
okay, it's Boston.
Don't
man, yeah.
ask me, yeah.
Come on, man. And you know what's funny? Houston has to get this done, man, because if they don't, everyone knows that in the Western Conference, these are the 2 best teams remaining. So it's like, this is almost like a championship. But, well, no, the East, Philly is doing their thing. Philly, Toronto, that's looking like a series. You looking at me?
I'm
See how
listening
they-
to you. I'm just listening to you
Let's
talk.
go.
That's awesome.
Try to
Go
see
on
how
and continue.
Portland do too.
Yeah, Portland playing Denver. That's looking like a good series. They came back and evened it up.
See if they could come
Dame
back.
Dollar. We're going to check it out, man. We're going to see what's going on.
A lot of interesting games going.
We was also talking about another interesting topic in sports. We saw the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
You saw that?
Yeah.
Our
Oh,
city,
yeah.
Buffalo.
They
Shout
trying
out to the
shut
low.
down.
They shutting down a tailgate, man. Ralph Wilson tailgate.
So you
No
telling
more-
me y'all don't know how to tailgate up in Buffalo?
No, we do. Hot chicken wings.
We
Yeah.
just
They
like
have
the
a little too much.
we
fun.
just-
Y'all-
Listen,
we just
Too
like the
much.
DDT.
It's a
people to
situation,
tables
right.
and shit.
Yeah.
there are people in Buffalo who, when we tailgate, they don't even make it to the stadium. There's some people who actually come to the game, Tiff, and they don't even want to go to the game. They just
They
chill
just
in the
wanna
parking
tailgate.
lot. Listen, so
Drink
they're
beer,
limiting
beat ass.
they're limiting the amount of alcohol you can have. They're limiting the player vehicle because people take whole RVs, limos, 12 passenger, 30 passenger vans, and do all that. So apparently the NFL is cracking down, saying y'all can't do that no more. You got to have open bottles and containers, which is gonna make it whack. Because
It's not a tailgate.
I know.
I mean, but did you see what was going on? I mean, they're throwing people into
just having
on
fun.
Say what?
fire on tables
That's the
and
low. That's the low.
jumping
Yeah, they
over
DDT,
buses.
yep.
Like
Yeah.
they wildin'.
They're doing all that.
It's way too much.
Throwing
definitely
dead rats at
wildin'.
each other.
They're doing that. They're
They
making
needed a little bit of structure and discipline.
and they doing it. And what's crazy too is so the stadium in the low is out in Orchard Park, New York. So it's all in the boonies. So what people do is they show up 6 in the morning. They be lit. Game kick
Party
off
all
at 1.
day. Drunk.
After the game, they go right back and they there to like 1 at night. It's an all-day thing.
That's an all-day party.
They taking shots out of the bowling balls, and all that. It's crazy. So
it sounds like a great time.
It's one of the best fan experiences ever. Right? That's what I mean. Like
it sounds like an experience, like something you just need to do.
Why are they regulating that,
in
man?
the snow?
They should let us live. Right, and that's another thing. Yeah, go ahead.
Maybe it's a liability issue. Like, I get it if it gets that rowdy. Maybe they feel like they have to do something. But I feel like even though they get extra, that sports and just rowdiness and random drunkenness is not a new thing. So I don't know. I feel like it's just part of the experience.
I think that the level, it was kind of like an episode of ridiculousness that I saw. Like, people are on fire. Yeah. Like, that is a hazard.
But see, that's part of it. So look,
it's
chicken wings and alcohol.
Definitely a liability. Somebody could really get hurt.
Some people don't. That's all they have. You know what I mean? It'd be 30 degrees, be wind chill, -15. They come in with there's one guy used to come every year, trench coat, nothing under,
from
flashing.
From a perspective, if somebody gets if somebody really gets hurt and tries to bring a lawsuit against the stadium, and they can say, you know that this is the culture and this is what happens, and you've never done anything, and so it does become an issue of liability, which is why I understand having something in order, but
that's everywhere, man. Everybody fans act crazy.
No, I definitely agree.
That's true.
But
that's true.
You're just leaving yourself open, and this is a sue happy generation. Like folks will bring a lawsuit against anybody for everything. Like, you saw it and you didn't do anything, I'm suing you too. So they have to cover themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know though, man. I feel like it's going to take a little bit away from
still gonna do
from
it.
our fan experience.
I know. They're going to find a way around it.
Mm-hmm. They're gonna have it under their cars, it's like have bottles taped under or whatever. It makes me want to go to a game just to see if it's gonna be that lit, Right.
So I feel like they're gonna find a way.
They have all types of flasks now. They come in lipstick bottles.
They have flasks that look like sunscreen. I've used those before.
Yes,
it's amazing. It looks like a bottle of sunscreen, but you can put like 8 ounces of alcohol in there. That's what I heard.
Oh, sounds like someone knows how to do it.
Oh, I know.
Great transition. Speaking of which, so I've heard. My friend had told me, my whole auntie, who babysit for my second cousin, had told me.
Put it in a baby pamper.
We found somebody is doing something even more. The man D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah.
Trying to sneak it on. We were just talking about this. Come on. You're in the NBA. You coming with the Arizona can? We was doing that at 16 years old. What was it, Pete? Talk about it.
Arizona iced tea.
Man, you couldn't sneak it in your sock?
Nah, they used to
put the Folgers.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just saying this is somebody had told me that's what they do. I don't know.
That's what you heard.
Vape
and he
pens.
didn't even get through with it. He got caught at TSA, right?
My thing is, you're a millionaire. You can't get it when you land. You supposed to have that on deck. I don't know.
Right.
Just it's so many different options. It's like
why make yourself so vulnerable?
Stupid.
Like, why do something so stupid to make yourself?
He
vulnerable?
wanted to be in the news. That's what that was.
Well, there are better ways to get in the news.
Yeah.
This wasn't a good one.
Yeah,
talk about me for a week.
It's crazy. It's unfortunate. He didn't know what he was doing.
And he was being dumb.
Yeah, well.
It takes control of you like that sometimes, things.
Oh, yeah? That's what happens?
That's what I heard.
Oh.
Everybody hearing stuff today.
Yeah,
Listen.
your friend told you that. You had a friend.
Well, we got to transition to something. We're going to go right into knowledge, knowledge. Unfortunately, there's something that did happen. It's near and dear to me. The UNC Charlotte shooting. Charlotte Strong. Shout out to all my family, alumni, friends, and all that down there. We gotta talk about it. Tiff, you want to talk about that a little bit, right? What's going on?
Yeah. So lone shooter. What was his name? Tristan. Yeah, Tristan Andrew Terrell. Yeah, Tristan Andrew Terrell.
Yep.
Decided to go into class one day and shoot at his classmates, killing 2 individuals and injuring 4.
Right.
Senseless,
and they don't have a motive. Apparently, he was a loner, and then I'm seeing reporting that he, of course, there's always going to be something pertaining to his health,
right?
Instead of the fact that he was like he may have been a fanatic or whatever, but they're saying that he was autistic and he was a loner. And so he kind of always stayed to himself.
This dialogue is already annoying.
It's played out, right?
Because if the killer would have been black or Muslim,
that's the excuse to all of them.
They would have already started labeling him terrorist, violent, thug, everything. But this guy is loner and autistic.
And apparently he bought the gun legally, so he had a legal weapon, and he was able to bring it into school and shoot and kill his classmates.
If you smart enough to get in UNCC, you know goddamn hell well not to do that.
It's crazy because when they showed the buildings, man, like I was in those buildings for classes, and I know how crazy it is down there. Like it's wide open, beautiful campus, man. Some of my roommates, like, you know, they hunt, they fish, like, you know, down south is the Bible Belt, so everybody has guns and that's what it is. But I want to big up not so much the shooter, but the guy Riley,
yes,
Riley Howard,
he was
man.
a hero.
Rest in power, man.
Himself.
That's a
Yeah,
hero,
he
man.
did.
Yeah.
To give up your life and to do that, you know, it's fight or flight in seconds. A lot of people always talk about what they will do, man, but that was a true sacrifice, man. He's gonna be remembered. You know, thoughts and prayers to his family, condolences. But that's all. I mean, he saved so many lives in there, and man, like I said, it just touched home because again, I went there. Some of the people who were giving accounts, I actually knew of, or I should say, and played basketball with, been in all those halls, and I just want to talk about that, man. Like these shootings, when they happen, okay, it's like we're becoming numb to it because they're happening so frequently.
Right.
That's true.
Number one, it's just like, oh, just slide in with the news. Oh, next up, it's and then we just go past it.
It's almost like, you know, you talk about one, it's like, oh, which one? The one that happened here or the one that happened over there? Oh, this one from last week? It's like, it's we're inundated with it. And you're right, it does cause a little bit of desensitization because you're like, it's just happening so frequently and it's so horrible, but we're getting to this level of numbness when it happens. Like, it's always horrible and tragic, but it's just happening so frequently now. Like, what do you do with all of this anger and frustration and emotion, especially when nothing happens as a result of it?
Wasn't the first one Columbine, right? Was that the first
Columbine,
one?
1999. Mm-hmm.
And then it's like
Columbine.
And it
so many
seems
other
like
ones.
it's just become like a rapid occurrence.
Sandy
You
Hook.
never heard that
Sandy
before
Hook.
of having it before
I
Columbine.
think it was something like prior to Columbine, maybe there had been like maybe 20 or so mass shootings in the past 60 years. But since Columbine, we've had like 200 and something shootings. Like it's it's increased
TV.
exponentially how many of these that we're having.
Right.
And it's all by the same type of culprit.
I don't want to talk about that because, you know, when we have shootings and stuff that occur in our community, you know, we hear the thug, we hear, you know, ex-con. There was a story where a guy had rescued someone from a burning building. They put ex-con rescues. You know, the media portrayal of it. We don't hear thug. You know, we don't hear when we see Dylan Ruth go in church and shoot people up. We don't hear
Disabled man.
Yeah, we don't hear. Oh, the guy. I'm reminded of the guy in Denver who the Joker mask and shot up the movie theater. You know, oh, he needs help.
Yeah.
Oh, he, you know,
Psychotic.
and I think that's part of it. Rhea, tying on to what you were saying, that also is in addition to the stories just coming one after the other. It's like there's almost a pass, a subconscious pass being given, right, to the perpetrators because it's, oh, you know, well, he had hard time. Well, he had, man, no.
The media covers it in a way that you want to, like, almost tries to evoke sympathy. They were a loner. They were, you know, had mental health issues. People of color don't get that same courtesy. Like, it's as soon as something happens, every possible negative thing is said about them. Even people who are heroes, even like the guy from the Waffle House who took down the gunman. They're not portrayed in this way that's amazing or wonderful or given consideration or something that makes you feel heartfelt. Is immediately people of color are just portrayed negatively.
Yeah, there was a story in Chicago, and again, rest in power to the young brother. Guy working security, actually stopped the guy. I guess a guy was in there with his girlfriend. You know, the victim of a guy came in there with a gun. Long story short, the guy working security at the bar, probably $15 an hour, stopped the guy, took the gun from him. Mm-hmm. He's holding him down, right? With the gun to his head. Police show up on the screen, boom, and killed him.
Yeah, I remember that one.
It's like, but they don't talk about.
No questions asked.
Oh my
It's like
They
questions
knew who
asked.
it was. They already knew who was the damn person.
How is it that police officers can manage to arrest white suspects without incident.
That's what I'm talking about.
Completely kind, de-escalate the issues, maybe even take them to grab something to eat because they might be hungry. But you show up on the scene with a black person who is not violent, who is not acting, who's helping.
Not armed.
Yeah, who's not armed, maybe even has their hands up, and you shoot first and ask questions later
Tamir
because
Rice.
you feel threatened.
Right.
They need to start training them police to
It's
be
not-
calm under pressure. Like
It's not
Tamir
calm
Rice.
under pressure. It is unconscious bias and sometimes conscious bias because it's not pressure. They
Right.
get in situations with white people, and even in that pressure, white people wielding knives,
Right.
You hear a
holding
gunshot,
gun,
you ain't gonna
and
be
they
thinking right.
are able to
you hear
de-escalate
gunshots, you ain't
those.
gonna be thinking
Yeah,
right.
I just
so
feel
you
like-
that's one thing. I ain't saying it's right, but you hear somebody shooting guns, they gonna come in there like.
But black
already,
people
like,
are getting shot when no guns are being shot with their hands in the air.
People
Right.
are.
I just
yeah.
feel like, with all the propaganda, because like we were talking about, media bias is just propaganda. It's just propaganda to keep a certain, group seeming like as if we are the culprits. We are the bad guys.
Right. I think too also like shout out to DL Hewley. Brother DL said, man, all we asking for is an arrest. All we asking for is
Right.
arrest. And so again, that person in Calabar,
the opportunity
he had
to
an
make it to
assault
trial.
rifle. You show up, they arrested him. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The guy in Minnesota, and I'm sorry, I'm slipping on his name. Okay. You pull it and you're shooting in the window with his daughter in the back seat. You're not giving us the same opportunity. All we asking for is the same opportunity. If you can arrest somebody with an AK-47, you know what I'm saying? You can arrest
You can
us.
arrest somebody with a
you
cell
can pull
phone.
up on Serum Rice or whoever else with a cell phone or a wallet, and you can arrest this as well. So, we have to use these times to actually bring up, the difference, right? The difference in the discrepancies in each scenario. But like at the end of the day, it's still a loss of a human life. And I just want to say to people, man, you know what? There's people out there you could talk to. Somebody might be hearing this. Somebody might be suffering. Somebody might be going through things. You don't ever have to feel like you have to go to the extreme to harm yourself, harm others. Man, reach out to people. Man, there are hotlines. There are people, all that. There's church. There's like friends. There's colleagues. We are in a time now where so many people are connected and accessible. So we got to grow and come together and be closer in all this, man. It's never as bad as it seems. Sometimes your highs are not as high as they seem when you feel like you're on top of the world. And then sometimes your lows when you feel like everything is against you, it's not as bad as you seem because there's always someone doing worse than you. So, man, if you feeling like you need, man, hit us up. Slide in our DMs, man. I'll talk to you, that's for real. I will bear that because it don't have to be that way, right? It don't have to go down like that. So.
And I think we all should be. I'm sorry. Go ahead. We all should be very conscious about checking on each other and just like how we treat one another. You never know what people are going through. So your family, your friends, just make those phone calls. People you haven't connected with in a while. You just got to reach out and just say, hey,
hi, mommy.
what's
I told
really
you I was
going
gonna
on?
say. Hi, excuse me, I'm gonna say hi, mom.
Hi, Mom.
mommy. Hey, buddy. Say something to my mommy. I love you.
Miss
Hi,
Mom.
family. Hi, everybody. Get it on real quick. I know I've been calling you, everybody. Oh, yeah.
You better call your mama.
No, I have been calling my mom.
Okay.
Listen, let me not say that. I'm just saying everybody else. Oh, and everybody else, real quick, who gave birthday shout outs to the boy. Listen, we've been grinding, busy. Thank you for every text, tweet, post, all that is coming. I appreciate it. It's love felt. Positive energy right back to y'all, man. I've got to do, how you got to do the long post and tweet. I haven't done
That's
that yet.
sentimental.
Yeah, my birthday was this past Tuesday, so
Thank you.
for real,
You gotta
man, I
say
appreciate
all the
it.
thank yous.
Listen, all thank yous, man. It's felt, man. I don't take anything for granted, man. If I only get one post or tweet, I only got 17 followers, so I thank all 17 of y'all, for the bottom of my heart. But,
know him by name.
but that's Paul right there. No, but seriously, no, we here, man. We all family, we all connected. Moving right along, man, to entertainment. It's been a lot going on. Entertainment, man. We in our bag tonight. We stand in a real bag. This story right here is just we just gonna go ahead and dive in because it's really affected me. But the ban that they putting on Minister Farrakhan, the ban that they're putting on a lot of people. Freedom of speech. It's like it's under attack. It's so many things that are going on, and this is a media platform, man. That's one of the reasons I believe I was given this vision to do that because I know that there are so many things that trying to be taken away from. We got to fight for this, man. We got to fight for just the right to talk, the right to discuss things, the right to have an open forum, the right to have y'all call in 202-417-7399. Y'all could call in and talk to us. We could talk to y'all, just touching the people. How y'all feel about that, man? It's like it's strategic, it's calculated. Alex Jones, there's a couple other people, right? It's not just Farrakhan, but
yeah, Alex Jones, Milo, Yana, I can't pronounce his last name. Yana,
Getting him out of there.
Yeah, I'm like, what prompted this? I mean, was he on social media, spewing hate? No.
I personally, I feel a little bit. I feel like part of me feels so. The whole idea was to ban hate speech, and so you have these like far right wing conservative folks who legit just spew ignorance into the world. Mm-hmm. I kind of feel like Farrakhan was not exactly collateral damage, but they were like, oh well, let's go ahead and give the presumption
draft pick.
Not draft pick. I can't think of the word. Make it the perception that they're being fair on both sides by let's ban a couple right wing folks. Let's go ahead and ban Farrakhan, saying that he's made some anti-Semitic comments. But the difference between the two, the far right wing conservatives generally don't like the stuff they say is not factual. They just literally, it could be lies, it could be ignorance. Farrakhan is coming with like some actual history and knowledge. And so, is that really considered hate speech if it's true? Like, if it's facts?
No, it's not considered hate speech if it's facts.
Just because people don't like it doesn't
exactly.
mean...
Right. That's why I wanted to go. Go ahead.
With his religion and, the way that he goes about saying how he feels about everything. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is.
Yeah. Don't get it twisted. The timing. Somebody said the timing of this because we saw Farrakhan come to D.C. about 3 years ago and peacefully assemble. Nobody was wilding. I was down there. The 10-year anniversary of the Million Man March. He wasn't spewing hate. He wasn't. No. He was talking about history, fact, America. But let's not forget who's in the Oval Office right now, and let's not forget how he got to the Oval Office. Right, doing some of the same things, spitting vitriolic rhetoric and this person, that person. So they were doing the same thing. But it's funny when you have the ball in your court, whatever, how you can go out and say, I want this person. You could pull the light or pull the plug from under certain people. But I will say this: we'll just go to a different platform. You're never going to stop. See, the truth can never. Shout out to Dick Gregory, who said the truth never got to be validated by ignorance. Mm-hmm. And when you see people assembling, you see people coming together, white, black, brown, white, yellow, whatever color it is. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They're going to try to stop that, but they'll never be able to stop it. It's already out there. And I think they were scared of seeing some of the effects of what he was having on and having on people. And that's where it's like, Facebook and all these other platforms up. But all it's going to do is encourage us to have our own platforms.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that because, like you said, Minister Farrakhan, he influenced all people. It's not like as if he just influenced black people or people of the Nation of Islam. He was influencing white people, everybody. So
I saw that post.
When you have that kind of reach with your message, that's dangerous.
That's the same with Alex Jones, because Alex Jones, he'll have people thinking a whole different way towards the government. Yeah. And that make you think that the government has something to do with it. Because they taking out
away powerful people. Have you ever looked at McDonald's coffee? Whatever it is.
They taking away powerful people that they feel like can make a whole nother culture or a cult or something to people. They see the power.
Because people are starting to realize how corrupt the government. Well, I mean, the government has always been corrupt, but I think like just the level of deceit and the extent to which folks will go to cover stuff up or to put people, it's now especially people are very receptive to these types of messages. So having somebody who is always on the conspiracy theory is they're a problem.
Yeah, Absolutely. But also it just I know that we're not talking about this, but I just saw something on social media about how Ice Cube was him and a few other celebrities were trying to buy some. Television stations, and he's getting blocked from being able to do that. Yep. You know what I mean? I'm just because they know the powers that be.
Magic
know
was
that
in
once
there.
we have a voice.
Yeah. The power of propaganda. Like
the power of propaganda, exactly.
It's not just how other people see us, it's how we see ourselves with what we feed into television, what we feed into radio. So if we control it and start changing that narrative on a larger scale, that is a powerful platform.
I think, absolutely, I'm all with it. I think Magic was in that group, Tiff, you were talking about. We got enough already. Oprah with the own. But see, we got to all get on the same page. Oprah with the own network. TPS, Tyler Perry Studios. Russ got his own platform. Diddy, Revolt. We got enough to, you know what I mean, to just do that. So there can always be more. You know, Bill Cosby, of course, is trying to get MSNBC or whatever. But we can always
news platform.
Right, yeah. That's why you have Scheme News coming. Listen, y'all, we getting into it. We're gonna take a quick break, real quick. I promise it's gonna be quick. We getting better on our breaks every week. We said 47. What we say last week? We said 67 seconds.
You said like 47 seconds.
All right, we're gonna do like listen, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do 109 and a half. 109 and a half seconds. And be right back. These ready? We've got a cue. We got to drop the beat right here. Listen, y'all listen to the SKEAM Podcast. 202-417. We're going to have y'all call in and talk to us. Let's discuss this. 202-417-7399. 202-417-7399. You listen to the SKEAM Podcast. We'll be right back after this.
Now take 2 steps to the left. Now take 2 steps to the right. Now bring it back, bring it back.
Walk it like I talk it. 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 Talk it. Walk it like I 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 talk it. Take my shoes and walk a mile, something that you can't do. Big talks of the town, big boy gang moves. I like to walk around with my chain loose. She just bought a new ass, but got the same boobs. Dope scientist. That's my sauce where you find it. That's my sauce. Look it up. Adding up checks, don't mind it. Get your respect in diamonds. I bought a plain Jane roller. These niggas bought they fame. I think my back got scoliosis cause I swerved the lane. Heard you signed your life for that brand new chain. I heard think it came with stripes, but you ain't straight with the game. Walk it like I talk it. 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 Hey, I gotta stay in my zone. Say that we been beefing, dog, but you on your own. First night, she gon' let me fuck cause we grown. I hit her, gave her back to the city, she home. That was that, so I can't be beefing with no whack nigga. Got no backbone. Heard you living in a mansion and all your raps though. But your shit look like the trap on his Google Maps though. We been brothers since Versace Bando. Whoa, name ringing like Amigo trap phone. Whoa, used to be with Vashti and Santos. That's on Tommy Campos. We live like Sopranos, and I walk it like I talk it. 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 Walk it like I talk it.
Live life like a baby that was dead at birth, became alive and fuck the nurses. If you don't like it, tell a nigga jump. If you feeling Kermit, if you sleeping on me, we can make it permanent and leave them thinking he really permeate, he really reeking. JID call me Willie Beeman, but I'm about a team. Everybody eating, if it's down to me, I'ma do some shit niggas ain't never seen. Bitch, I jumped the three. Ashley Kutcher, who's fucking me? Shit to put you, who want the beat? Chop arm, leg, can't package me. Sacrificial lamb, satisfactory. Smack him with the hand, don't talk back to me. I'ma be the man, I'ma kill a king. I done been a fans, now I need wings. I done see your head on. Now smoking with the best.
1-800-YOU'RE-A-STAIN now. Side effects may include headaches, dry mouth, broken families, stealing from friends, making your mother cry, hating yourself, getting touched in prison, and much more. Results subject to change depending on how junked you are and or get. Please junk responsibly and don't be a snitch.
Young man rumble in the jungle, trees tumble, bees rumble, we humble, yeah. Sling slum, wood, lumber, heaven, brother, sister, brother, freaky fucker, kidney puncher, Willy Wonka, pussy purified, lake, talker, yeah. Say I be, J-I-D, say I be, E-S-T, with the R-A-P's, and R-I-P, around sound, O-L-D, and Pro-L-D, and I ain't dropping no Will-P, O-D, I know O-G, drop low, what's the Will-D, and make a play, nigga, O-D-L-C, make a way, get his O-L-C, until they solve, and let us pray, and let us eat. Let's go over now for you.
This is a Fiend Club exclusive, bitch.
And we are back. See, then he always got to be fixing something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Check it out. We are back. Listen, thank you for everybody who's watching us again, listening to us. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Y'all are blowing my phone up, and I love it. I thank you. But it's better if y'all put it on a page. YouTube page, YouTube, SKEAM.podcast. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that comment. Hit that like. So y'all, this real that y'all liking. Y'all show YouTube that y'all feeling this, and we come up, no. And then Facebook, IG. Skin Queens like that one. We back at it. We're going to just keep it moving right along with appearance. We're giving you that truth serum this week, appearance, how it appears. We had something that appeared to be a little bit off. Ria's going to tell us more about that. It appeared to be quite off when I looked at it.
There's a school district. Now, it's called the Cleveland School District, but it's in Mississippi. Who had an issue. There's a young lady bringing a lawsuit against the school district. So first, let's start here. The school district just desegregated in 2017.
Yes.
A federal judge ordered the school system to desegregate because they were basically
having. Please say that again.
I
didn't hear it.
They just desegregated the high schools because they were doing an illegal separation.
Get that black boy out of there.
Where you had a historically white school where just white kids were going, and a historically black school where just black kids were going. A federal judge mandated that they segregate the schools in 2017.
2017.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's 2019. So let's put that in context.
Right.
Okay.
So the young lady, after this, she is a senior, has a 4.41 GPA. And she was supposed to be salutatorian for her school, and they ended up giving it to her white counterpart, who has a 3.34 GPA. So what they did to justify this were they weighted the classes for the kids who came over from the black school.
Yeah.
And so
Points.
that they took points away from them, so it would seem like and they didn't do the same thing with the white students. So that's how they were able to justify having this other person be the salutatorian, even though she had a higher GPA. And interestingly enough, it's not the only instance. There's another lawsuit, same school district, where they instead of had a black girl higher GPA, and they had another white student be the co-valedictorian, even though the girl had a lower GPA. And this is the most black and white thing. Like, whoever has the highest GPA is the salutatorian or valedictorian.
So
like, it's nothing to...
Ain't right.
Yeah. And
I want to get her name. Hold on. Go ahead, Tiff. You got it. But first, let's get her name. Let's shout out this queen. We're going to get her name. Yeah. Go ahead, Tiff. If you got it.
I just wanted to chime in. The reason why she's suing is because she had received a scholarship to go to Mississippi State University as a salutarian. So she had won the scholarship based off the fact that she had become the salutarian. And so she lost her scholarship because
she wasn't the salutarian. Right.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness, man.
That's terrible.
Why you do that?
So her name is Alicia James.
Alicia James.
Shout
out to you, Alicia James, queen. We raise our cups to you, Scheme Queen.
You did that. 4.41.
4.4.
Like, you got above an A. That's amazing.
That's right.
Above an A.
Above an A.
Let's raise it up.
Better than the best.
For you.
You need a raise.
And go ahead, Tiff. You got it.
No, I was just saying that's the reason why she's suing. That's part of the reason why she's suing, because
she's going to win that case. She's going to.
It's
blatant.
Let's keep things in perspective. This is Mississippi.
Yeah.
Where they just
Mississippi.
Where they just desegregated high schools. Okay.
I wanted to go to all white school.
I mean, they were illegally segregated. You know what I mean? Like, no.
But it just goes back to that whole idea, and you know, black people try to make it seem like we're making this stuff up or it's coming out of nowhere, but like, you are literally the best, and then They move the line for where the best should be.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't take it from me.
What do you
If
do?
I earned it, give it to me. Don't take it from me.
Yeah.
And that's a horrible message to send to a high schooler. Like,
Don't
you're
take
a
it from
senior,
me.
you know what I'm saying? Before she even gets started in all of the reality that will be life, to have something like this, you've busted your butt for years and you've accomplished so much, to then have something just taken from you over the dumb, like, it's just dumb. And it's a horrible message to send somebody so young and impressionable. That really does. That's a disheartening message.
Forever.
I want to ask this question. We're going to have this real conversation. Let's discuss this because that's what we do on here. We discuss it. So, not all, but there are some European descent Caucasian. Because like I said, I got people on both sides who are. Do y'all think they feeling threatened? Or like, why is this happening? Let's be for real. Segregated South, all that. You know, I lived up north, lived down south. I didn't live in a deep, dirty South like that. Let's unpack this for real. Do y'all think they're feeling threatened? Tiff, Scheme Queen Tiff, go ahead. You got something.
So she said that what was her, Alicia? Mm-hmm. Part of her lawsuit, the reason why she said that she was suing is because she felt like as if they were afraid of how does she term it? Like white people running scared.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like basically them leaving, you know, not wanting to go to the school anymore.
Right.
Not wanting to attend the school. And so I don't think that. I mean, it's just an overall fear. I think it's a fear of losing their place, of having that superiority or whatever. You know, being the
at the top.
At the top, yeah, basically.
I agree. I think it's an interesting combination of fear, ignorance, and entitlement, maybe. Like the whole idea that if a black person does something, it's taking away from their white counterparts, as opposed to people just being acknowledged for the credit of what they've done. The idea if a black person excels, somehow a white person is not going to excel.
They think it's what's it called? Indirectly proportional.
Like they're entitled to everything, right? And so God forbid somebody come up and get a little piece of the pie. Yeah. You're taking something out of somebody else's mouth, and that's not what it is. But that's where the fear and the ignorance comes in, because there's nothing to be threatened about by intelligent black people excelling and going above and beyond and doing amazing things. And I mean, like the idea that in 2017 you still had a segregated school is just disgusting.
I ain't know that.
Yeah,
that's disgusting. Had no idea.
Who the mayor over there?
I've actually heard stuff like that in like the southern states.
I mean,
Mississippi.
it's just disgusting.
And some of the states, they still fighting the Civil War.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And let's be for real. Like again, so I just told you, you know, of course, I went to UNC Charlotte. I was down south. Charlotte is not as, you know, they don't hold on to a lot of that as well. Now some of the South Carolina, you go down there, they do have it, but. Even when I came down there, man, there were people who look at like, damn, Yankee, like they really look at you like that, like, and they'd be like, huh? Like to me, it was kind of laughable because I'm never gonna not be who I am, but you know they take that shit serious. Like they're not playing. Like you know what I mean? My whiskey, my Bible, and my shotgun, and they not playing. And you know, so and again, we got family down south. You know, my family, you know, I rep, you know, but at the same time, we gotta have a different perspective and a mindset because again, you know, it's crazy, man. Like I
think that yeah, we have to have a different mindset, but I think that people are becoming more aware of their privilege. Mm-hmm. They're becoming more aware of it, and some people are becoming ashamed of it. Like it's like a eye-opening experience. Like, oh my God, I didn't know that I had this ridiculous sense of entitlement my whole life, you know, that I don't deserve.
Right.
Well,
I mean,
it's what you choose to do with it from there. Though.
Exactly.
Some people still resist the very
I think
idea
that's being stimulated though. Again, by going back to the politics by who's in office. You know what I'm saying? Because like, if the person who's the commander in chief is fostering togetherness, unity, all of that, that's what's going to be the rhetoric. That's what that message is going to resonate. But if you're fostering that hate, you know, this and all that, giving awards to, you know, people who standing up for the divisiveness, that's the, you know, the people who are on that ignorant shit gonna feel empowered. And there are a lot of people who are feeling empowered. Like a lot of ignorant, let's be for real, ignorant Caucasian, I'm not afraid to say it, who feeling empowered. And it's unfortunate that, you know, some of the people who do stand up, because again, I don't believe not everybody is on that. You know, I know some Caucasians, some Europeans, my brothers and I, who are, you know, well, not my brothers if you want to say that, but I'm just saying they are my brothers. They are my brothers. Well, I can say that. Yeah. Or stand toe to toe for me. Because at the end of the day, let's talk about when you go to war, ain't no color. Like if you're American, I'm American. You gotta. And I've never been to war, but I'm just saying this is who my uncles and my family who've been to war. We talk about that. Oh, we got a serviceman here. Thank you for your service, SKEAM Queen. Let's give a toast to SKEAM Queen. SKEAM Queen, thank you for your courage. She'll take you out. She got the shooters. We got the mommies. Wait, don't tell them too much. Shoot. Close to me. Shoot. She got it in her purse. Gun. But check it out. At the end, and that's for real. Mm-hmm. The war, right, brings people together. Because guess what? If you got the enemy, you got Charlie coming at me. Yeah. Charlie don't care if you white, black, brown, purple. Charlie's sniping you, right? Right. Why when they come home they don't get that same you know service, that care. And that's one of the reasons why I fight for the VA and advocate, and I want to get them their rights. Because we have family member Ringo, you know what I mean, who went over there, served this thing, came back, and he can't get basic service and health. Right. Come on, man. Like, no, we're gonna change that. Yo, we don't even got enough time to go into all that. That's another. But you know,
we have to remember the whole idea of racism. It was always put in place to take away, to exert power over one particular group, and to maintain power for this one particular section. They're able to use whatever means were necessary. They even poor whites. If we're talking about early on in slavery, poor whites were more associated. Were starting to come together with blacks, and they were like, oh no. And then we're giving them jobs. We're doing things just to create divisiveness between the two, so that you could continue to exert your power over one group of people. Like that's what racism has always been about. And I don't think it went away. We kind of enlightened ourselves, but then we got a black president, and all that residue kind of came to the surface. Then we got 45.
My president is black.
And then we got 45 who fed the ugliest and it's the meanest and the most evil of people's fears. And then it's just like people are just out here saying anything, doing anything, and we're just seeing it come to a head right now.
So I think, and you were saying, like, with the current president, Maine was saying the current president, kind of reinforces that rhetoric. Mm-hmm. But I feel like even when President Obama was in office, it's like everybody, it all came to a head. Yeah. Like he had received the most hate.
His whole family. They called his wife a monkey. They called his daughter a slut. Yeah. And
that we have ever seen. And now it's just like snowballing. Mm-hmm. Now it's just like, okay, it's funny now. We can just do this out loud and it's
not going down like that. So let's talk about solutions, guys, because we know we're solution oriented. We know what the issues are. We're not going to solve it right here. We're not going to solve it in 3 minutes. But what are some things that we can do, right, to start, like, because we the future right here. We young, we wave. We are at SKEAM Podcast. Follow us on the IG. Follow us on. You're listening to us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, and all those platforms. But what can we do, right, to talk about the solutions, to talk about, like, guess what? This is what we could do. Because, we have, some of us up here have children, and we always wanted, the goal of the parents, I believe, is to leave this planet in a better situation, right, than we had. So what can we start to impart in our kids? What can we start to do? What can we start to teach? What can we start to do to come together? What can we do using our forums and our platforms, being able to reach people? Again, somebody talked about the Underground Railroad earlier. Harry, could you imagine Harriet platform with a WLVS behind her? Like, what? What can we do now, right, to just to talk about the resolution? Because we know that they're gonna always be out there trying to come against us, but we fighting for unity, togetherness, brotherhood, and all that. Whatever. So much for so. That's to anybody. Everybody thinking like.
I say we all work together, come together to find a solution. If we work together, then we can first we have to come together, then work together and find a solution. Because if everybody thinking the same thing, everybody's thoughts come together and we'll find a way to solve the problem. That's what I think.
Right.
Okay.
I think that we need to educate ourselves, and then we need to educate our children, and then we need to educate other people's children. I think that we need to be out in the communities, giving of our time, and teaching these kids where they come, their history, where they come from, and where they can go. Because I don't feel like, oftentimes, you don't have these children that have role models, or there are a lot of families that. Children that do have role models. That's what I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is that there are a lot of children that don't, that don't have the background information. They don't have people putting it in their ear where they came from and what they're capable of. They don't know the threats in their environments. Like this world is becoming increasingly hostile, and kids have no idea. They don't know that the world is not as innocent as it seems.
Right.
And I feel like we need to train our kids or teach our kids, all children, from when they're small, when they're innocent.
Yeah.
Rhea?
No, I agree 100% with everything you said in terms of education. Like in every single way.
Yeah.
Even in schools, we let our colonizers write our history, then we teach this history to the generation. So we need to definitely teach truth to our communities, to our children, to ourselves. Because, even our generation, a lot of folks, the way to combat ignorance is with knowledge. But I also think in terms of race relations, we need to start having some real conversations with our white counterparts. Like, real sincere conversations. Like, let's get away all of the pretenses and kind of take away some of this anger and this hostility and this general misunderstanding about who we are and where we come from. We can love everything black. It doesn't mean we hate white people or we're trying to take away from, but we need to be able to have some really honest and frank conversations to try and bridge those gaps that we have.
I second that. Rhea, I'm so glad you said that. This is why she here, Skin Queen Rhea 605. Check this out. I want to challenge anybody who is of European, of Caucasian descent, to reach out to me. Yeah, see our information down there. Because I want to have that conversation. Because I believe that some people are afraid to have that conversation, number one. It puts them at, I might lose this and all that. And I remember when 2 years ago when Colin Kaepernick was fighting this fight, I think the brother Michael Bennett came out and said, like, until Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, one of these quarterbacks step up and say something, Kaepernick gonna be left hanging out in the wind. He was right. So that's what it needs. It's like it's not that we need that, because we're gonna fight the fight regardless. But when you get it gives credibility. It's like, you know what, man, we see that. So listen, if you go ahead, you about to piggyback on that?
No, I was gonna say there's certain levels where we are not going to be heard. The argument is legitimized by white like-minded people, and it's sad to say, but when you get to certain levels, there's some groups that if you just hear a bunch of black people making the noise, it's going to be looked at one way. But when you have white people who matter in the discussion co-signing and understanding and choosing to be a part of the discussion and the solution, it is going to give a different light to the situation.
And I tell you that, and it's crazy because we don't ever want this to be about color. Like, listen, we travel the world. All of us got passports. We travel. Listen, they will tell you me. I get down with everybody: the white man, the brown man, the brother man, and the other man. I will tell you this. Listen, but what we're saying is we don't want to see color. We don't see color, but there are instances when we talk about everything we talked about before. Tamir Rice, the shootings and all that, we have to seek out, and it resonates. So if you are of Caucasian persuasion, this is where you can step up and be like, you know what, we hear you. Man, we hear you. You know what, Real, we hear you. Yeah. Tiff, PLJ, we hear you. And this is what we have to offer with it. And we got people in the studio even being like, rocking with it. You know what I mean? Like, yo, this is real. This is for real. This is what's happening. And that's what it's going to take. Because we're in one of the melting pots, D.C., New York, L.A., Tokyo, all these are melting pot cities that we can foster the change. We can be the change. Yeah. And that's what we want to be here on SKEAM Podcast. Again, so check us out.
There's nothing wrong with seeing color. I see color, and I appreciate color. I love color. And it should be appreciated. I don't judge color, though. That's where the challenges come in.
I feel like I'm tired of trying to have the conversation with our counterparts.
Okay.
I feel like we need to continue to have the conversations within our communities and ourselves and build ourselves up. And I know that sounds kind of like
else, so
I'm not saying that we don't need anybody else. I'm just saying like
all of them.
I'm just saying that we have a lot of work to do ourselves. You know, like I'm tired of trying to explain to you why your privilege or whatever is a detriment to my survival, to my life. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I'm tired of trying to get you to understand. Like if you don't get it by now, I feel like a lot of people don't want to get it. You know what I mean? So it's not my responsibility to teach you this.
Some people be stuck in their ways.
Like we are here on this, just like how we all have to learn our jobs and we have to learn how to coexist with one another. I feel like it is your responsibility to want to learn about who it is that you're on this earth with. Right. It is your responsibility to get the background knowledge. And so I feel like we, as a community, we just have to rise up and do it out. You know, we have to figure out, we have to start from the bottom up. We have to teach our children. You know what I'm saying? We have to get out into communities and really put, give our helping hand. It's not about, that's just my opinion about it.
Well, I'm with it. Listen, we're gonna transition right into manhood because we got so much.
Oh Lord,
they laughing. Hold on, I know. Oh Lord, oh my Lord.
We're gonna put a W-O in parentheses right before that.
No. This is a SKEAM podcast. This is founded on manhood.
I said in parentheses.
No, we ain't parenthesizing
It's all good. He's sensitive.
Hold on. Ain't no sensitive. We're not sensitive. Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all straight like this. Y'all gonna be here we go. Yeah. Let's get it together. Ain't no gone.
Say what you gonna say.
What are you gonna say today?
I want to start off with a solo. I want to start with an A&B selection. Listen. We y'all talked about it. It ties into everything we were saying. Rhea was just talking about religion, and we following us as a people following doctrine and stuff that have been given to us. So if we really look at it, the Bible was given to us. There were our people on the planet before. They were following some type of spirituality, whatever you want to call it, before. When we talk about that in terms and context of marriage and man-woman relations, it seems as if women sometimes don't want to always hear and go with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What are you saying?
First of all, I'm gonna listen. This is what I'm gonna have y'all do. I'm gonna have y'all listen in context, and then we're gonna have y'all respond.
I'm not responding.
What?
I'm just
You don't have
asking
to respond. So I'm
say what you're
when I
saying.
finish, you're gonna be there.
Okay.
I saw a post last week that I shared with the team, and that's why they feeling some type of way, y'all.
Yeah.
A lady was talking about the innate nature of a man, right? And the innate nature of a woman, who has let me get in my back. Who produces millions of sperm, right, each day, right, and has the propensity to procreate and replicate. Go ahead, sip your drinks.
Going nuts.
Right. And I will tell you this. I will tell y'all this. A woman is born with all the eggs that she will have from birth. She's gonna have all her eggs that she's gonna have. Wait, stay with me.
I was gonna say, can you explain the video a little bit more? Because I feel like for people watch it, they never seen it.
Okay, so watch this.
It's
it's not an argument. Not an argument
they
at
don't
all.
understand what you're. I'm just saying, clarify what
We're
you're
talking
saying.
about men and women. We're talking about innately men and women. Okay. The video was talking about why men cheat. And the lady, we're gonna share. I wish we had. That's on me. I should have loaded it. Had it to you to load. Well, we'll get that next week. We'll come back in. But innately, for time's sake, the lady was saying that in men, because we are not wired to, if you want to say, be married happily ever after, all that's given to girls from the age of 4 or 5, right? A girl's taught, they give her Bride to Be magazine. So she has a Cinderella fantasy. And I get it. I got a daughter. Cinderella fantasy. You're going to walk down the aisle. You have this big wedding. Men, we're not given that. So we're taught to soil our royal oats, go on here, have wives out there.
Soak sack.
Right. And I believe that if we're wired to that, even as lions, right? When a lion takes over pride. He kills the cubs of the former male and all that dominant and establish his precedence. Men, we're wired to that. And I believe that in this Western society, right, the women, they don't really want to grab hold to this fact and this law of nature, right? And we subscribe to this institution of marriage that was forced upon us that was not our ritual.
Yeah.
Because we built pyramids, back in our days, and we had 10,000 wives and all that, concubines and all that. So if we go back to what's innately in us, the animalistic male, the mammal type people that we are, right? This whole one soul made for the rest of your life and happily forever.
Can you get to your point, sir?
I made my point. Talk about it. Let's discuss this. How did that make y'all feel? The post, because y'all felt some type of way. We'll start with Tiff, because we didn't want to get in her back. Let's start with Tiff. I know. You see, I already started with Tiff. Let's go.
So
go ahead, Tiff.
basically, ladies and gents, he's saying that men are pre-wired to be polygamous. Okay? And there are no scientific facts.
I didn't say polygamous.
Polygamous meaning you can
have
have multiple wives.
Do the nasty
I'm not talking about wives. See, that's
what you said.
Give me three. Give me four of me, because I'm gonna tell you. Hold on. It's not wives.
Sister
See,
wives.
the whole thing of
Sister
wives
wives.
is the thing. It's mating. It ain't even about wives
You
for us.
brought up polygamy, and now you're telling her not to bring up polygamy.
No, it's not about polygamy.
fine. Women.
Y'all think in
Just say
terms of
women.
wives.
Just say women.
Just say mate. Just talk about the savagery.
Multiple
hardness.
sister wives.
We don't have that much time.
Yes, we do. Y'all better get to it.
All I'm saying is that it is not in a man's nature to be naturally promiscuous.
You're not a man. Rhea?
There's.
No, go ahead, Tiff. I'm messing with you. Tiff?
Go ahead.
No, because I want to let Rhea get in here, because Rhea got her back.
I just so.
This is truth serum.
Firstly, and
Episode
I'm
4.
going to be concise. I have less than a minute. So, firstly, this idea that we are primitive in nature and we are just animalistic is I don't agree with, because we are human beings. We have the capability of logic and having a higher consciousness than animals, so we can choose what we will and won't do. Firstly, secondly, the idea that men are the only one that are wired to like more than one person is not scientifically accurate, because there is research that says, first of all, polyandry is a historic thing too, women who had multiple husbands, but they're even talking about the prehistoric woman would sometimes have multiple partners for a need for security. So women have also wanted to have more than one partner. The one true thing that you did say is the fact that we are from birth kind of taught that this is the way it's supposed to be for a woman, and it's okay for boys to be boys, and that is the issue. But that is not nature, that is nurture, and that's all I have to say.
Okay. PLJ?
Well, I feel that
we're gonna continue. We're gonna continue this next week. Go ahead, PLJ.
Hey man, we all have our different ways we want to go. Sometimes we want to do things, and sometimes we want to chill.
Most of the times, women are disposed to have one mate and love them for life.
Women,
if you believe in love,
y'all just don't want to hear
and
that.
the promise that
Everybody their own person, man.
Don't flag me, y'all. That was just a. Check this out. What I will say though is there in this new age, women doing that. But here's the thing you gotta understand: men don't look at. We're gonna have this. We're gonna have the men and the women. We're gonna have where the ladies at. Part 2. We're gonna do that next week, y'all. Where the ladies at? Where the ladies at? Where the ladies at? Where are the ladies at? Check this out, man. We don't want to go over. We want to mind y'all. We're gonna finish this conversation right here. Cliffhanger. Leave y'all here, just like they do on all them shows and all the. Listen, y'all listen to the SKEAM Podcast. Like, watch, comment, video, all in the video. That's just listen. We out here on music. DZ, you got us queued up. Give us some wavy to bounce out to. Next week, where the ladies at? Tell a friend and tell a friend. Y'all call in. Sorry we didn't get y'all calls.
Y'all better be ready to call.
Sorry we didn't get y'all calls. Y'all see what it's gonna be. Listen, Tiff with a drink. Yeah, they ain't ready. They ain't ready for y'all. Y'all listen to SKEAM Podcast.
We are born ready, my love.
We've been ready.
We are born ready.
We out.
You ain't.